Joe here. Thanks for tuning in to the Tom and Joe Auto Show, starring Tom Tharp, knife thrower's assistant, and myself, Joe Bucci, valve cover letter shaver. We're gonna talk your socks off about everything cool in the automotive world. Please welcome Tom and Joe. Hey, welcome everybody to episode number 12 of the Tom and Joe Auto Show. How's it going tonight, Tom?
Oh, going great, Joe. Feeling good. Big episode number 12. We're doing it every Monday. It's pretty exciting.
I love it. You know what else I love? I love the word a dozen. That's 2 words.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds like we've done a lot of something.
It does.
We've done a dozen, you know? It sounds like we've made a lot of these. Well, you heard Joe give us the intro up top with our titles. My title, I'm a knife thrower's assistant.
Which sounds incredibly dangerous.
Well, actually, this is what you want to be. You don't want to be the knife thrower.
Okay.
This is the person that's putting themselves out there. You know, they have a bad day, you know, slip and boom, knife in the face of somebody, the poor person who's at the other end. The knife thrower's assistant, all you're in charge of is keeping the knives in order, making sure they're sharp, you know, bringing up, did you bring the knives? Yeah, I got the knives, you know, that sort of thing.
Right.
So it's a very low stress kind of job.
Okay, all right, that's good. So you're not like, you don't have to test them out or, you know, see if they're sharp enough or anything like that.
I might cut a tomato or something, you know, but I mean, it's nothing. I'm out of harm's way completely. It's really nice. Now, your title, you know, I kind of had you figured out as this guy.
You think this is me, huh?
The valve cover letter shaver.
Yep. You know, I guess I'm the type of guy who might be willing to spend weeks upon weeks shaving letters off my valve cover by any means necessary.
Those unsightly letters.
Yeah, they're bumpy. They're not smooth.
The manufacturers, they just have to put words all over valve covers, just like sentences and numbers and just all over the valve covers. But Joe, what he wants just like a smooth is like a baby's behind on that valve cover. You know, some kind of powder-coated, glossy, smooth, no letters, no words, no talking on the valve cover.
That's right. I mean, I like it to be a mystery to the people who look under the hood as well. You know, we don't want a big label that says what the engine is right on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right. What is this strange, nameless, wordless engine?
Right. Then I can kind of like throw them a curveball, you know. I can maybe tell them a fib about what's actually under the hood, you know?
Well, you know, quickly, I mean, you never see like words on valve covers anymore.
No, you know what comes to mind is the big plastic covers they put on top of engines now.
Yeah, you just get a big sort of goofy cover, a snap-on thing. That's what you get. You don't get like cool valve covers, so you don't even have to do this anymore.
Right. I mean, with these new school engines with these plastic covers, my Dremels and files and sandpaper, they don't get the kind of use that they used to, you know?
They stay nice and sharp. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, you know what? We've got some hot topics. We've got some controversy in this show, Joe.
Oh, man. Yeah. The internet has been blowing up with this topic, our topic number 1 for tonight's episode. I'm calling it Street Outlaws versus the NHRA.
Man, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really did. Like,
it blowed up.
Whew. Yeah, it's popular. My Facebook feed is just full of people talking about this, internet memes with, you know, crazy, funny verbiage on them and that sort of thing.
Can't get enough of those.
Yeah, they're fun.
But same here, Joe. I'm sure we follow a lot of the same Facebook pages and sites and things. And I've been seeing this all over as well, and it's just like came out of nowhere and just blew up this topic. And if folks aren't familiar with this, if you're listening and you maybe haven't seen this, I'm sure most of you probably have. You're car guys like us, and you see this sort of thing. This is all stemmed from a letter that the NHRA sent to the participants of the Street Outlaws show, the stars. Am I right?
Yeah, that's kind of what's brought everything to a boiling point at this point. But man, it's hard to tell where to start with this. But anybody who hasn't watched the show Street Outlaws, it's basically quote reality TV show where these guys in Oklahoma City, they claim to be the fastest street racers in the country, and they have a list where they maintain a 1 through 10. They got more than 10 people, so they got people trying to get on the list. And they go out to secluded spots to street race like many people do in cities all over the country. The thing is, everybody knows, if you watch the show, you pay attention a little bit, you can see that there's floodlights on generators and there's emergency vehicles and that sort of thing there. So like most reality TV shows, it's pretty scripted.
Yeah, interesting. So I'm sad to say, for the folks listening, I have little kids, which means I don't get to watch any TV anymore. So I'm familiar with this show, and I love the concept. Just sadly, I don't get to watch it or any other TV besides, the Disney Channel and things of that nature, which I don't believe this is on Disney Junior. Is that true?
No, it's not on Disney Junior.
Okay, good. But so the show ends up and they street race in this fashion, and so what the NHRA has taken exception to is, or what they've specifically said in the letter. I mean, the letter is so the Street Outlaws guy posted a picture of the letter on his Facebook page, and that's what started the whole uproar, as far as I can tell. And what the NHRA is just taking exception to the fact that they're street racing.
Yeah, the NHRA, their kind of mission statement is to make drag racing safer. Put it in a sanctioning body, in a closed course, that sort of thing, and make it safe. So they do take exception to glorifying street racing. And man, I really feel like what happened here. This show's been out for a few years now. This is the main thing I wrote on my notes here. Okay. Because this letter from NHRA just was sent out recently, and so I'm going to give you a little quote here. Hot Rod magazine called Gino Effler, which is the head of PR for NHRA. Okay. And Effler said that NHRA officials saw numerous NHRA licensed drivers and some cars with NHRA logos or competition numbers appearing on the show. Yeah. And then since they feel that the show promotes street racing, they didn't want their licensed drivers glorifying street racing, staged or not. Sure, I understand that for sure. And and my first thought was, okay, this letter just went out. This show is on season 4, 35 episodes. I mean, are we late to the game here? I mean, the NHRA officials, obviously very diligent. Just the finger on the pulse here. I mean, exactly. Season 4. Yeah, it's kind of crazy it took them so long to address this. And I think as far as having NHRA logos and competition numbers on the cars, I think that they have a right to, to declare that they don't want those people to be representation of the NHRA. But I see that angle for sure. I can understand that angle to a point. Right. The fact that it took them so long to bring this up is a little odd, except that there was an article that was posted on the 2nd of February, about 10, 11 days before these letters got sent out. And in that article, it was an interview with Justin Shearer, who goes by Big Chief on the show, which we could probably talk about for about 20 minutes. But Big Chief was interviewed. I read this article when it came out. I came across it somewhere, and I do watch the show, and it's entertaining. Pretty much it. I love that a show like this is made. I mean, oh yeah, like definitely. I'm sad that I can't watch it. There's a bunch of I mean, I don't get to watch any cool adult television. I mean, I'm just sad in general about this, but I'm glad this show exists. Yeah, and I think you'll get a chance to watch it at some point. You can get it online and that sort of thing. But I think that the guys on the show are pretty interesting, and some of them talk a lot of smack, and some of them seem to know what they're doing. Some of them don't, but. After reading this interview with Big Chief, I had a lot of respect for that guy. He's not only is he a smart guy as far as cars go, he builds and tunes and all that stuff, but he had some really good points to make in the article, like about TV and about viewership and that sort of thing. And in this article, he basically called the NHRA out and said, hey, you guys are doing it wrong. And he had some really good points.
So that is the root of this.
That's what I think.
Okay, I see.
That's why you didn't hear about this for the past 4 years, 35 episodes. All of a sudden this pops up because Big Chief spoke poorly of the NHRA in this article.
I see. He just went and slammed the old baseball bat against the beehive over there.
Yeah, he kind of did. And in my opinion, he had some really valid points. He was talking about how the NHRA, the part that they air on TV, if you get a chance to watch it, the part they air on TV is just a big commercial. It's rolling billboards.
Oh, sure.
These cars are all like the same, except for what's painted on the outside of them. He mentioned that his 4-year-old son, he showed him a picture of John Force, and he's like, who is this? And his 4-year-old son was like, I don't know. But then he showed him a picture of the Castrol Mustang, and he was like, oh, that's John Force. He said they should be focusing more on the drivers and let the drivers, talk smack about each other a little bit. Let the drivers tell you what happened in between rounds. What did it take to get their race car back into the lanes?
Oh, the interviews at the end of the race, they're all the same. It's just it's just like a robot at the end.
Right. All they do is spit out all their sponsorship names, and that's pretty much it. They should talk about, man, we didn't even know if the car was going to start when we got it to the lanes because this happened and that happened, and people are interested to hear that. And like I said, if you get to watch the show, that was another point he brought up, was you set your DVR to record it because it's on at 2 a.m., but you end up recording an hour and a half of tennis because ESPN thinks that tennis is more important than NHRA drag racing. It's really hard to even watch
That's a strong point.
Yeah. Street Outlaws is on at the same time every week.
Yeah, the drag racing gets short shrift. That's part of the reason I stopped watching it. I stopped watching the NHRA drag racing years ago.
Yeah, I have too.
I can't even blame the kids for that one. I just, I stopped watching it a long time ago.
Yep. I remember us talking about watching NHRA drag racing several years ago, and now here you are saying you don't watch it. I don't watch it anymore. They've shortened the track to 1,000 feet. The numbers don't make sense to me anymore.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
It's just a commercial if you're lucky enough to get to watch it. And if you read that, we'll post a link to the articles that we're talking about here, the original article with Big Chief, and then the article that came out after the letters were sent out. But, man, if you read that article, he makes some great points, and the NHRA, it hurt when they heard those things.
Yeah. Okay, interesting background on that and how that all started. I mean, I read some of these, the NHRA's response. I mean, I'm sure they did not expect this response. I mean, they've been getting just killed on the internet, on social media, and, Facebook and all these other, Twitter and everything else. I mean, they have, speaking of, angering the beehive. I mean, we were just looking at these numbers, Joe, the ratings, the season finale in 2014 of Street Outlaws, 2.5 million people.
That's a lot of viewers
checking that out. So there's, in that group of people, you've got some very passionate folks who love that show and love what they're doing and love some street racing action and everything else that show offers. And when the NHRA came after that show, it just, they instantly alienated all those people.
Oh yeah, those people, those 2.5 million viewers, rose up to support Street Outlaws, And I know you have the other numbers there too, Tom, from the season previous. What was the difference in ratings between the two shows?
Well, let's see here. The previous season, Street Outlaws averaged 1.5 million viewers.
Okay.
And the NHRA on a let's see, and like a final round show would be about 400,000 viewers.
Wow, so that's less than a third.
Yeah, 300,000 to 400,000 viewers for an NHRA. The various qualifying and things like that, and then up to the finals.
Yeah, so like basically, Street Outlaws is killing them.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. So what that tells me is that they're doing something right. The people at Street Outlaws are creating content that the viewers want to see.
That would be like a show about football getting more ratings than the football program. You know what I mean? Think about it for a minute.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
Or just some dudes playing football in the backyard would get more than like the NFL, whatever. I don't know. I was just trying to think of it at a different sport somehow. Yeah. And earlier today when I was thinking about this.
Yeah, there's so many reasons too. There's Big Chief was talking about, actually I think it was one of the other guys where I read they were talking about the fact that the NHRA doesn't have a class for a lot of these cars. You know, the cars that are on this show, all of them are so very different from each other. It's kind of a run what you brung type situation, which is how it usually is in street racing. But
it doesn't work for a company like NHRA, though.
No, it doesn't.
Really,
they tighten the rules down, so you know, basically they make it so every car has to be the same.
Yeah, just like NASCAR. I mean, you can't just bring whatever you built in the garage to NASCAR.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you know, it would be cool if you could do that, but
there's a formula, you know, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what's fun about drag racing. I mean, what they sort of embody what's fun about it. The fact that you can build your car over the winter and then go out in the spring and, you know, and run it and try to be one of the faster guys at the track or beat this other guy, you know, or something. I mean, they sort of embody that, and what the NHRA is doing is something much different.
Yeah, I start to wonder now, what is it they are trying to do?
I don't know. It's when I was thinking about why I quit watching drag racing, like, you know, at the highest level, John Force and the funny cars and Top Fuel and all that. And it's, I don't know, it just felt like, I was, I don't know, it just didn't feel like it felt like sort of a machine, like the machine was just running. Yeah. Of these cars making passes. It just didn't feel like, I mean, you look in the pits, it looks like they're all using the same stuff, and it just looked the same. Like every week it looked the same. And I'm sure if you talk to somebody working in the crew, they'd be like, they could tell you exactly why it's still a great sport, and it takes passionate, smart people to make that pass work. Right. You know, and win a championship and all that stuff. It's just, I don't know, from the outside, it's lost something over the years. Yeah, I agree. And you know, it's funny, we should probably mention the letter itself basically said, if you participate in the show Street Outlaws, then the NHRA reserves the right to revoke your NHRA license or possibly ban you from events, I believe. Yeah, because I believe Street Outlaws, they sell merchandise and make appearances and things at NHRA races. Maybe they don't race necessarily, but they sell merchandise and things of that nature. Right, and there are some NHRA regulars, I guess, that have popped up on the show as it's gained popularity. So I guess those guys maybe stand a little bit to lose. But Big Chief said, no big loss, no loss here. I'm a street racer. I'm going to continue to be a street racer. So, actually, from what I understand, Big Chief doesn't even have an NHRA license, but most of the other people on the show do have an NHRA license. Sure, yeah. They've got stake in that. Yeah. Well, you know, one quick thing. I mean, street racing in general has an interestingly high profile right now. I mean, this show is responsible for that. As well as other outlets. I mean, look on YouTube. One of my favorite channels, 1320 Video. Yep. I mean, how often are they putting out some street racing content? Just about every day, right? Yep, there's That Racing Channel. That Racing Channel's another one. And these are dudes just like, I don't know where they're, like an industrial park or some deserted road somewhere, or just going down the highway, They're racing all over the dang place. And so there's a very there's just a high profile for street racing, which just amazes me, really, that this can still happen in this day and age. Street racing has been going on for a long, long time, but there's it has a very high profile right now, and I find it interesting that the street racing world and the sanctioned drag racing world are butting heads. It's just really fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that that's happening at this point. It does remind me, though, of about close to 15 years ago now, was street racing was pretty popular in this area where I live, and Fast and the Furious came out.
Oh, and
street racing kind of peaked. Like, a lot of people who didn't normally street race were out trying to street race, and the law enforcement really cracked down on it, and they made new laws about it and all that sort of stuff.
That was right before I left Florida. They made it a felony.
Yeah. So
it was pretty bad.
So, it seems like it calmed down. It almost died out. I really didn't hear much about it anymore. But ever since Street Outlaws has been airing, all of a sudden it's very popular again. It's the same effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's definitely a lot of talk on the internet about it. There's lots of arguments. There's people claiming that the NHRA is too strict on their safety regulations, and that's why people street race. There's people claiming the NHRA charges too much money for a membership or to enter a race, things like that, which is driving people away.
Do you think there's some middle ground here, or no?
I think there is. I think that, in my opinion, the safety regulations are a good thing. I have no problem with the NHRA's safety regulations.
Yeah.
I think that they should open up some more classes, some new classes.
Yeah.
There was some talk about back when the NHRA was involved in sport compact drag racing, and how exciting that was when they got involved in it. But then they kind of did the same thing. They really tightened up regulations, and they made it into a formula that those the corporate GM teams jumped right on and dominated.
And that's what attracts sponsors, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Run what you brung, and that sort of competition in that forum doesn't bring sponsors. It's not consistent enough, or it's not, I don't know, marketable or something.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I don't know. It is. I mean, look at the success of this show. Something about it, the outlaw nature of it, is appealing. Yeah, I was going to say too, there's some outlaw classes. There's 10.5 classes, 10.5-inch tire classes, and there's a lot of drag radial classes. The X275 classes are popular right now. I think if they could somehow put together a nice set of rules for a radial class, or some sort of run what you brung class, a class where you could bring a nitrous car, you could bring a supercharger car, you could bring a turbo car, and just set up the rules in a way that kind of levels the playing field, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that would be great. It's sort of, I guess, Pro Mod kind of does that.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a good step. Why doesn't the NHRA add Pro Mod, to what they're doing? Like, they can go ahead and replace Pro Stock if they want, because you can pretty much...
seriously?
Man, Pro Stock is like watching the same car make a pass over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier. It's like, it just feels like a machine that's running over and over. You're seeing the same thing, like a replay. But that's how well they have it nailed down. And it takes a tremendous amount of work, I know, to do that. Right. But it's from the standpoint we're talking about, it's not very exciting to watch.
Yeah, it really isn't. So, I don't know. I think they could make some changes. They could at least make an attempt at it.
Well, the NHRA, they would be terribly tone deaf if, after getting this reaction from the public, didn't say, "Oh, wait a minute, we need to listen to this, and we need to think about this and make some changes, and maybe open up to this." If instead if they just firm their stance, I think that'll be a real mistake.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And they haven't consulted me yet. So
you should expect a phone call.
Yeah, I'm looking at my phone here. I don't know. I'll just go ahead and maybe make sure I have my ringer on. Okay, I'm good. All right,
good. You know what? On the flip side of it, I think the NHRA has every right to send a letter to these guys that says, do not display the NHRA logo, do not display your competition number. I think that that's fair. Yeah. But to threaten revocation of their NHRA license for what these guys are doing on their own time, I don't think that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I'd like to get any of you listeners out there, I'd like to get some of your opinions. If you guys want to come to our Facebook page and let us know what you think about this feud that's happening right now, I would love to hear your opinions.
I know we got some viewers out there of the Street Outlaws and lovers of drag racing, so please, yes, we want to hear it.
All right, Tom. Well, I guess that's it for topic number 1. Let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back with some more.
All right, sounds good. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tom and Joe Auto Show. In our time here, I just want to tell you, we're getting some people checking out the show, but the best thing you could do is tell a friend, Joe. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Spread the word.
Yeah, we would love that. I mean, our goal, we've been getting lots of feedback from people that listen to the show, but, if we could get more people checking it out, that would be awesome. Then we could do more with it. And we'd like to do more with the show. We'd like to have guests from time to time and, just improve everything we're doing. And if we could get it out to a wider audience, we could do that sort of thing. So please tell a friend. However, if you got some car buddies that listen to podcasts or whoever it may be, please do spread the word. We would really appreciate it.
Yeah, if you could go visit our Facebook. You can search on Facebook and find the Tom and Joe Auto Show. If you enjoy any of the podcast episodes, just go ahead and click the share button. Send them out to all your friends so your friends get an opportunity to listen as well.
Yeah, and if you don't have any friends, make some friends and then tell them about the show. It's going to take a while, I realize that. But please, make some friends and tell them about the show. We greatly appreciate that effort.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, put in the effort to make some friends.
Yeah, exactly. So, we got a few cool topics here for the rest of the show. Quickly, one thing I saw, our last topic, we had a good conversation going about the NHRA versus Street Outlaws. And in this interview from the NHRA PR guy, they talked about a unique thing they do at their races. And I just wanted to tell you about this quickly, Joe, and get your take on it. So they have something called Junior Street.
Oh, okay.
Junior Street is for 13 to 16-year-olds that don't have driver's licenses. They can go to the strip with a parent riding shotgun and in a car that runs no quicker than 10 seconds flat in the 8th mile. The parent drives the car to the water box, hands the wheel over to the child, who then takes it down the strip, parks the car after the run for their parent to take over.
Yeah, this is cool. I did glance over that when I read the article from the NHRA PR guy, and I actually mentioned it to my daughter this afternoon.
Isn't that wild? I never knew of anything like that. I just have a small, privately owned local track, but what a cool thing that is.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because, they've had junior dragsters, which is like age 5 or 6 up to 17, and that's cool, but they won't. I've asked if I could take my daughter for a ride down the track, and you have to be 16, at least at Bradenton Motorsports Park, just to take a ride down the track, even in a slow, Ford Focus.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, they must be cracking down on that then over the years.
Yeah, so that is very interesting. That's I only got about 2 years to wait, and I can try that out.
Yeah, you get to make a pass. 10 seconds in the 8th, though, that's still that's like a little sporty compact car, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to look at the time slips from the old Ford Focus. It ran about 17 flat, a little under 17 in the quarter. I'm not sure what that is in the eighth.
It's got to be somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway, cool thing that they're doing that I didn't realize.
Yeah, very cool.
So a topic we had, it's been on our topic list for a little while, and this is just a fun one. Folks, I know some of you check out my videos, and I greatly appreciate it. There's one that I posted back in November of 2012 called Epic Racing Simulator. And this video, just to tell you a little bit about it in case you haven't seen it, there was this contest that BenPack had. So backing way up, I got my BenPack lift, and I ordered the lift, and it was the third Turbo Garage video I made, was me installing the lift. And it was literally just, I ordered the lift and it came, and I was like, "Ooh, I should video this. Like, this would be a good episode. Like,
right.
I bet I could make this into an episode." I mean, that was literally how it worked. It was on the truck, and I had to go get it being delivered. I had to go pick it up, and I thought, "Ooh, I should take pictures and video this." That's all the thought that went into it.
Right.
Anyway, I posted on YouTube after the whole install and trying it out, and if you've seen the video, you've seen all that. And not maybe 2 days later, BenPack contacts me and says, "We're having a contest where we're asking people to make a video about their lift and tell us about how they like it and how they use it and that sort of thing."
All right.
Exactly, it's how it worked, and it was amazing. I was like, "You have to be kidding me!" And it was the truth. They were advertising the contest. It was "Show Us Your Lift Love." They had it in different magazines and things. Anyway, right. I won that contest, and the grand prize was this racing simulator, which was a German-built. If you haven't seen the thing, it's a whole, like, you sit down in it. It's built by a company called Fanatic, and they make the whole racing simulator with the racing seat and everything you sit in. They make the wheel, the pedals, the shifter, and then what also came with the kit was the grand prize here was an Xbox 360 and Forza Motorsport 4.
Right, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, Joe, you've actually tried this thing out,
Yeah, it's really cool, man. I was jealous of that thing when I saw the video. I was like, I've always wanted to have something like that. I remember going to the arcade and, playing some of the racing games they had there. And they had this one, I think it was a Ferrari simulator or something. And that's what the thing that you have reminds me of.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I really like the steering wheel feedback. It's great to be able to actually use a clutch and shift, while you're playing those games rather than fiddling with joysticks and buttons, It's a pretty immersive experience. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's cool. And, it's the technology. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you it's an older version of the Xbox, and the game has been out for a long time. But anyway, the Epic Racing Simulator video was me talking about how I won it, putting it all together, building it, and then trying it out and kind of giving my little review of what I thought about it and how much fun it was. I mean, not having played racing video games in many, many years, so it was a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Well, I put this out there, and I didn't know what would happen with this video, but as time has gone by, it's one of the most popular videos on my channel. It's received 550 comments.
Oh, wow.
And by far has the most dislikes of any video that I have.
Oh, boy.
Now, I had no idea when I put this thing out there that it would become so controversial and people would have some strong opinions about it. So what I've collected here are a few of the comments that I thought I would share with you quickly, Joe.
Oh, this is going to be good. I can tell.
Here's the thing. I'm spoiled, okay? Because there's over 50 some videos now I've made, and the vast majority of the comments are so positive and supportive and encouraging. And that is the reason that's a big reason why I even make these videos, because it's just so much fun to share with everybody and get everyone's reactions. And, oh, hey, I'm working on this. And, oh, yeah, you showed me this and it made me think of that. And so it's all that sort of camaraderie and feedback and meeting people. It's all good. But this video has just riled up a whole group of people, the video game people.
The video game people. That's the people.
Yeah, those are the people. So here's some of these comments. The first comment, the most popular comment,
Okay.
YouTube is instituted this way where some comments rise to the top and some disappear. I don't know how it works.
Right.
But the top comment is, the sim racing community are a really easy group of people to get along with. And I really don't see hardly any of the superiority complex that the other enthusiast groups exhibit.
Huh.
So that's nice, right? It's like, this is a good welcoming group then. I like that. That sounds great. Okay, so here are the other top comments. So much investment into an epic sim racing rig and use it to play Forza. Ha ha ha. Epic fail, epic facepalm. Ha ha ha.
Oh, Tom, what are you thinking?
Next comment. You spend all that money and then waste it on an Xbox. LOL. Now, here's the thing. Most comments are chiding me that I invested this and am using an Xbox. I won it in a contest. People, I say that in the video very clearly, right off the bat. I won this in a contest. Okay, I would never buy something like this so extravagant for myself, like some fancy racing simulator. I mean, I won this in a contest. It was just totally a cool thing. Okay. Next comment. Epic racing simulator. Hardly epic. Should have bought a PC, idiot.
Idiot. All right.
And then here's this guy, buys close to $1,500 worth of sim equipment and plays arcade racers with it. Fail. And then there's, so that's the sort of category of, I have the wrong equipment kind of thing. You wasted your money, sort of ire. And the next category is, there's a whole bunch that just criticize my driving.
Oh, wow.
So here's one. Do you shift like this in real life? You have no idea how to drive.
Man.
Your brake work is horrendous. Oh, man. Okay. And then from there, it just gets worse and just sort of degrades. I mean, here's one. Lots of folks. I mean, I can't even list the comments. There's too many to list. Just lots of folks making fun of my face, my shoes, my clothing, just whatever, the way I talk. So it just, this video, outside of all my other videos, this one video has just attracted this strange audience of people. I just can't. Anyway, I just wanted to go on a little rant and talk about that video. I've actually thought about deleting the video from time to time because I don't know, so many people hate the thing.
That's crazy. The haters come out of the woodwork for the racing simulator.
Yeah, and there's a similar group of people, and I hope none of them are listening, that I recently riled up with, and that was the car detailer people.
Oh, really?
Oh, my gosh. The fact that I used a terry cloth on the Gallant, Joe.
No, you did not.
I did not use the proper microfiber. Anyway, so the car detailing people had their way with me as well. But anyway, what can you do? You just do your best, Joe, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know what? When I was a kid, when I had my first car and I washed it and waxed it, they didn't have microfiber cloths. Okay?
Macrofiber, big scratchy sandpaper rags, dish rags. Use mom's dish rag. That's all you had.
I really love the you shouldn't have bought an Xbox too. It's like I call it like Ford versus Chevy syndrome, Yeah,
and here's the thing. I completely recognize that the PC simulators are in another league as far as realism, quality, customization. I know, but what these people don't realize is when I get in the old racing simulator, it's when I have like 20 minutes, maybe once every 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
If that. There's times when months have gone by and I have not even touched that thing. So, like, I jump in there, want to play quick and get out. I mean, a PC racing simulator, that would basically be my entire life. Is, futzing with that thing. So,
well, I think that's the type of person that is going to really criticize your choice in hardware for your racing simulator, is someone who really has a lot of time invested in theirs or just dreaming about them on the internet. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, and I'm not one to like go after a group of people. I mean, I like one of my favorite YouTube channels is what's it called? Sim Racing. What's it called? I don't know if it's Sim Racing Magazine or Sim Racing Today or something like that, but they post like sim racing videos and things, like the newest stuff out there, and I love it. I love that. Anytime they put out something new, I'm all over it and I enjoy it. It's sort of, I can appreciate it from afar, but it's not something I have the time to get into, or I'd much rather just like wrench or drive in real life myself. But I guess I'm old fashioned that way. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Now, this is an article that popped up just today, actually, and it stopped me in my tracks. It blew my mind, Joe.
Oh boy, this sounds exciting.
Yeah, so it's a quiz. I've turned it into a little Stump the Chump version here. I would like you to guess something for me.
Okay, I can do that. Okay.
Subaru recently celebrated a benchmark, a milestone.
Okay.
Okay. It's, they've been producing the Boxer engine for a long time.
Right.
Let's see. So they celebrated a certain number of Boxer engines they've produced.
Okay.
Okay. So now I can give you some clues if you'd like, or unless you would just like to go for it.
I'll take a clue.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. They started, the first Boxer engine they built for a vehicle was bolted on in there 49 years ago.
49 years ago.
Yep, in the 1966 1000 sedan. It was a flat four. Yep, flat four.
All right. 66.
So dang near 50 years they've been pumping out those Boxers.
Yeah.
So how many have they made in all that time, do you think?
I'm just going to have to take a wild guess.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of numbers Subaru does. I don't know how many
I can hardly stand
Imprezas
Yeah.
they sell, or how many Subaru XTs.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, that engine's everywhere. I mean, they've been pumping it out forever, like 49 years.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it to know like how many 2 liters or how many 2.5s they've made. I know very little about it. But anyway, I guess it's all Boxer.
It is
Boxer engines.
It's all Boxers, yep.
Okay, I'm going to go with 25 million.
Oh, man. You went high, but that was a good guess.
All right. How close was I?
They celebrated their 15 millionth.
15 million, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, you hit it a little high, but I think I would have went way low if I would have guessed.
Really?
I think I would have. Yeah, 15 million is a tremendous amount of production, wouldn't you say? I mean,
yeah, it definitely is.
It's staggering. I mean, the period of time is, almost 50 years is something to take into account too, but 15 million. Now, here's the other milestone. They've, I don't know what the word is, installed or built their 14 millionth symmetrical all-wheel drive system.
Wow, so like 99% of the Boxer engines they built went into all-wheel drive vehicles.
Yep, 14 million symmetrical all-wheel drive systems last month. And they've been making that trademark all-wheel drive system for 43 years.
Wow.
Yep. So anyway, so there you go, Joe. Some interesting production tidbits. I'm sure there's all sorts of fascinating numbers like that throughout the auto industry, but that one I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I kind of shot high because I was thinking that pretty much every vehicle they've made has a Boxer engine in it, whereas if you ask me how many 4-cylinder engines GM produce, that's a smaller portion of their total number of vehicles, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So go Subaru.
Yeah, that's good.
Keep making that crazy engine.
Oh, yeah, I hear it coming a mile away.
Yeah, me too.
Missing on cylinders.
Yeah. They got a plug wire loose grounding out against the header or something.
Oh, man. We're going to get Subaru hate mail now.
Oh, I love the Subarus, man.
Oh, yeah, they're cool.
It's a distant appreciation, though, I will say that.
Yeah.
I've heard so many scary head gasket changing stories. It makes me kind of nervous, but
something about glass transmissions is what I keep hearing.
Yeah. I'm sure that's not. I'm sure. I mean, we all have our foibles, right, Joe?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, well let's move to our final topic of this episode, our dozenth episode here.
Doesn't.
And this is a listener question that came in from Dustin, I believe on my Facebook page. And his question is, you guys were talking about free or almost free ways to make more power that you did back in the day. Could you tell me what some of those mods were? And I wish I could say I did those free or near free mods just to be cool, but I was just broke was the true thing. I was poor. I didn't have any money. So it was completely out of necessity. But
that's a good reason to do it.
It is. It's the best reason, actually. But that's what's awesome about cars. I mean, there's ways you can hop them up with little or no money. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's really cool, and I feel like it's something that's a lot easier to do on a turbocharged vehicle.
Yes.
Because boost makes more power, and there's cheaper free ways to make more boost. But it gets a little more tricky when you're talking about a naturally aspirated vehicle.
It is, definitely, and I did a little. I had to, refresh a little bit on this. I have the DSM ones, the Mitsubishi Turbo ones. I think I have off by heart. I could recite them out here now, and I've listed some of those. But let's talk about some of the harder ones for non-turbo cars.
Okay.
Well, number one is, cleaning everything and making sure you're in a good state of tune, like cleaning your throttle body.
Yeah.
Making sure you've got good clean plugs in there, good plug wires. And so I know that seems like common sense, but it's a surprising. I worked on cars in our service station. People would come in and complain about drivability, and you look and the throttle body is just black and all gummed up in there, or their air filter is completely clogged shut or something. It's just it's surprising how often that happens, even in like performance cars.
Right, you got to tackle that basic maintenance first. I've seen pictures of people who have pulled engines apart only to find that like the combustion chamber all around the valves and everything has like a half an inch of buildup on it.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that stuff too. Yeah.
You have to be in good running order, everything in good shape before you get started with the mods.
Yep. And now for a non-turbo car, the absolute free way is weight reduction.
Absolutely.
That is $0, and the general formula is for every 100 pounds you remove, you lose about a tenth in the quarter mile. So if you're busting out a 14.0, you take out 100 pounds worth of stuff, you're getting a 13.9. And that, there's some wiggle room in there, but generally that's fairly accurate. Yeah,
it depends. Like, if your car weighs 6,000 pounds and you take 100 pounds off of it, you're going to have trouble. But if your car weighs 2,000 pounds and you take 100 pounds off of it, you're going to see better results. But your average car that weighs somewhere in around 3,000 pounds, that's about the equation that you can use.
Yeah. So, and you'd be surprised when you start ripping stuff out of there how quickly 100 pounds can accumulate.
Oh, yeah, I preach it all the time, man. I've just spent the last couple of weeks on my race car removing little brackets that some of them weigh, less than a half a pound. But you just got to take the weight out everywhere you can get it, and it will add up.
What are some of those brackets, like the front end or?
Like
the front end
the front
bracket?
End bracket. Yeah, some of those brackets, like the roof.
The roof bracket. Yeah, that weighs. That's probably a good 20 pounds, 30 pounds right there.
Oh, yeah, but that's definitely like I remember back in the day, first time going to the track with a bunch of friends and pulling up into the pit area and immediately removing all the seats from the car except the driver's seat.
Yep. My first new car was a Dodge Neon RT. The first time I was going to take it to the track, I lived in an apartment, didn't have a garage or anything, of course. So I'm out in the parking lot of the apartment, taking the seats out, the trunk stuff and the carpet and everything. And this lady comes up to me and young man, do you need a tow truck? She thought, I was like, oh, no, I'm trying to explain to her that I'm going racing. And there was so much confusion.
Yeah.
I still think of the look on that poor lady's face as I was trying to explain all this to her. But it's all in the interest of speed, Joe.
That's right.
Now-
right. Spare tire and jack out the window.
Now, this is another one. Now, some of these do require a little cost, but I see them as sort of maintenance items. Synthetic fluids.
Right. Yep. Synthetic fluids, a little better lubrication, eats up less horsepower. That's a good one.
Yep, put that in all your your gearbox, your diff, whatever you got there. Now, this one's going a little deeper.
Okay.
Power steering and AC belt.
Oh yeah.
Now,
parasitic drag.
Yeah, now this is vehicle dependent, but if your car has like a traditional power steering belt, from what I've read in this article, said that can be anywhere from like 15 to 25 horsepower that a power steering pump can be taking from you at higher RPMs and such. So
right.
And outside of that, it gets pretty darn difficult in a non-turbo car. I mean, you can sort of lop off a restrictive muffler or something and put a straight pipe in there. I mean, there's various things you can do, but it gets pretty tough in an NA car from here on out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, probably the tune is kind of important.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing things like removing mufflers or removing the air filter to get, freer flowing airflow into the engine, that sort of thing.
Yep. And kind of speaking about the tune-up, verifying that your base timing is correct.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I remember in our old service station, we had to do emission testing. And how many cars came through with where the base timing was not correct?
Right, that'll definitely affect emissions.
All the time. You get the base timing in there, maybe do a little fuel injection cleaner or something, a car would be pass emission, no problem.
Yeah, and that's a good way to make some power, too. If you put some higher octane fuel in your car, then you can take advantage of that fuel by adding a little bit of timing,
Yep. Oh, here's a good one. Verify wide open throttle.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one. Make sure that your floor mat's not all crumpled up underneath your gas pedal.
That is so simple. And even cars will get a little slack in the throttle cable over the years.
Right, as it gets old.
Yep, I've seen that. And so, tighten that up. Make sure you're, when you're slamming it to the floor, you're not going 3/4, man. You're going wide open.
Yeah, you need 100% throttle position.
Yep. Now, when it comes to the turbo cars, now suddenly the skies open up, Joe.
Oh, yeah, it's so easy to make power in a turbo car. That's what brought me to turbocharged vehicles
Me too. I mean, just think, where do you even start? I mean, oh, goodness.
Man, as far as, free mods go, like I said, any way you can get the car to make more boost, it's going to make more power. And, of course, there's limits there. You got to make sure you have enough fuel. You got to make sure that your exhaust is opening up and there's not huge amounts of back pressure there and things like that. But if you can make more boost, you're generally going to make more power.
Yeah, definitely. And, if you're buying an older turbo car, which is, no matter what it is, a boost leak test is a good way to make sure you're making all the boost that you want to make, or you should.
Oh yeah, that goes right along with that regular maintenance. A boost leak test is important on a turbocharged vehicle.
If you have a used turbo car, that has some decent miles on it, there's a really good chance you're going to find a boost leak.
Yep, definitely.
Really good chance. But there's, a lot of the other rules apply. I mean, verifying your timing, verifying wide open throttle, making sure, just getting the air in and out of a turbo. There's things on the old Mitsubishis, you could do some things to the stock air can to get more air in there.
Yep, most cars, I think you can modify the air box and the path, from the filter to the throttle body or to the turbo inlet on a turbocharged vehicle. Those things definitely help.
Yeah, and other than that, it's my advice would be, no matter what kind of car you're driving, usually in your vehicle-specific forums, there's some section about free mods or cheap mods that people have tried and had good success with, and I think that's always the best source. What do you think, Joe? Yeah,
that's definitely where you should go. There's a lot of these mods are definitely vehicle-specific. Tom, you've given a lot of good examples of stuff that can apply to most vehicles, but definitely find a car forum about your vehicle and look for that section. It's going to be there, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Well, this is episode 12. I think we made episode 12 just now.
I think so. That's a dozen.
Wow. This is special. I'll remember this.
Yeah, definitely. I remember February, short time after Valentine's Day, when we made our dozenth episode.
Oh, this is special. I like this. All right, everybody.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in and listening, as always. And like we said, please do tell a friend. Check us out on Facebook. If you have any ideas for things you'd like us to talk about, please send those along.
Sounds good, Tom. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. See you, Joe.
Bye-bye.